The tech layoff wave is still kicking in 2025. So far this year, more than 22,000 workers have been the victim of reductions across the tech industry. This means by the time you watch this video, another 5 people will have received that life-changing email. If you work in tech, you've definitely felt the anxiety hanging in the air. LinkedIn is flooded with open-to-work banners, and social media feeds are full of seeking referrals posts. Maybe you've already been through layoffs, or maybe you're worried you'll be next. Mainstream media keeps saying it's because AI is coming to replace us all. But when you dig deeper and look past the fear-mongering headlines, you'll find the truth is far more complex and more brutal than it appears on the surface. During the pandemic, remote work became the new normal, and everyone was shopping, learning, and entertaining themselves online. For tech companies, it was like hitting the lottery. Every business metric was exploding with growth. User numbers and revenue that weren't expected until 2025 were suddenly achieved in 2020. The entire industry was throwing money at talent acquisition. Massive signing bonuses for engineers became standard practice, and companies were poaching entire teams from each other. Everyone kept repeating the same story. This is the new normal. Remote work is here to stay, and the digital economy has permanently transformed the world. Then came 2022, after the pandemic. The world started reopening, people returned to offline consumption, and the Federal Reserve began aggressively raising interest rates. Suddenly, big tech companies realized they had massive workforces that simply weren't needed in the post-pandemic world. You might think the logical response would be to admit the mistake and honestly tell investors, we got carried away by the circumstances and overhired. This was an error in judgment on our part. But that's not what happened, because you can't just tell Wall Street, we screwed up. That would make management look incompetent, cause stock prices to plummet, and hurt executives' stock options. So companies needed a different story, a narrative that made mass layoffs sound like forward-thinking strategy rather than reactive damage control. Enter AI, the perfect scapegoat. Suddenly, layoffs weren't about post-pandemic strategic adjustments anymore. They were about AI transformation and operational efficiency improvements. The data ruthlessly confirms this. A large portion of people being laid off today were hired between 2020 to 2022. AI didn't make their jobs obsolete. The pandemic bubble simply burst. Recent merger and acquisition deals are sending an increasingly clear signal. Capital only wants core teams. Everything else is expendable. Google paid $2.4 billion for Windsurf, but it didn't buy the entire company. Instead, through technology licensing combined with key personnel hiring, it only brought over CEO Varun Mohan, co-founder Douglas Chen, and a few core R&D staff. The rest of the employees and company structure were left behind to fend for themselves. Meta's acquisition of Play AI followed the same playbook, only taking the tech lead and core voice team members. OpenAI's acquisition of IO Products also just absorbed the core team of 50 engineers. NVIDIA's purchase of Sentinel brought in fewer than 20 core engineering team members. None of these acquisitions valued the company as a complete organization. They only cared about one thing: the core team. Product operations, customer service, HR, and administration all became disposable in this wave of AI capital competition. The people who were selected represent the entire source of valuation. This trend reflects a fundamental repricing of human resources. In the AI industry, what truly creates value was never the corporate entity itself, but that small fraction of people within the company who can stand at the technological forefront. Their value is being monetized by capital in the most direct way possible, while everything else is rapidly depreciating. Core teams are more important than companies themselves. This used to be just a trend prediction. Now, it's become a bloody reality. This overcorrection has also created a perfect arbitrage opportunity for companies. The average salary for a software engineer in the US is about $150,000, while an engineer with similar skills in India costs only $15,000, one-tenth the cost. This means you can fire 1,000 American engineers, saving $150 million annually, then hire 2,000 engineers in India for just $30 million, pocketing a $120 million difference while actually doubling your development capacity. The most shocking example just came to light. You may have heard of Builder AI, a company valued at $1.5 billion that claimed to have an AI assistant called Natasha that could use artificial intelligence to build complete mobile applications. The truth? The so-called Natasha was actually 700 Indian software engineers working behind the scenes, successfully convincing investors for years that this was real AGI. The most ironic part of this story? Those 700 Indian engineers must have been incredibly skilled because they successfully impersonated AI for nearly a decade, fooling even savvy investors. This perfectly demonstrates the enormous potential and cost advantages of the offshore talent market. Data shows that 20% of US tech companies implementing large-scale layoffs have quietly replaced their American employees with offshore workers. AI is indeed changing employment, but not how you think. Companies have become extremely stingy with personnel expenses while throwing money around recklessly on AI infrastructure. How much money does laying off 80,000 tech workers save? Assuming an average salary of $120,000, that's about $9.6 billion total. Meanwhile, OpenAI alone will burn through $14 billion this year. In other words, the money saved from layoffs across the entire tech industry isn't enough to fund one AI company for a year. This isn't coincidental. It's deliberate capital reallocation. The money hasn't disappeared. It's just flowed from people's pockets to GPU clusters and cloud services, from engineers' salaries to NVIDIA's profits, from stable employment to speculative AGI bets. Let's honestly face AI's real impact on employment. AI is indeed changing work, but in ways far more complex than robots stealing jobs. First is the threshold elevation effect. AI tools allow one senior engineer to do the work of 5 people previously, meaning companies need fewer but more excellent people. The result isn't everyone gets replaced, but only the best people have value. This explains why top AI talent compensation has reached historic highs. AI scientists earning $1 million annually is no longer news. Companies would rather pay top dollar for one expert who can skillfully use AI tools than maintain a large but relatively inefficient team. Second is the accelerated skill depreciation phenomenon. Previously, a programmer's learned skills could last 10 years. Now, they might only last 2 years. The rapid evolution of AI tools has dramatically shortened skills' half-life. It's not that AI directly replaced you. Your skills became obsolete. A front-end developer proficient in jQuery found their skills less valuable in the React era, and now they need to adapt to AI-assisted development. Learning has shifted from one-time investment, lifetime benefit, to continuous investment to survive. More critically is the disappearing middle phenomenon. AI excels at handling structured, repetitive tasks, exactly the core work of many mid-level positions. The result is a barbell-shaped job market. Demand increases for high-end creative and strategic work. Low-end service jobs still need humans, but vast numbers of middle white-collar jobs are disappearing. Those jobs requiring some expertise, but being relatively standardized, like junior data analysts, basic financial accountants, customer service reps, are exactly where AI impact is greatest. Meanwhile, entirely new job categories are emerging. AI trainers, prompt engineers, AI ethics specialists, human-AI collaboration designers. These roles didn't exist 5 years ago. Some companies are hiring AI coordinators to manage human-machine collaboration processes. Some law firms need AI legal advisors to handle algorithm-related legal issues. But the problem is, these new jobs are far fewer than disappearing traditional ones, and they often require higher skill levels and stronger adaptability. Who's winning this game? In this great reshuffling, the division between winners and losers has become crystal clear. Winners are first those companies controlling AI infrastructure. NVIDIA has leveraged its GPU monopoly to reach a market cap exceeding $3 trillion, becoming one of the world's most valuable companies. Cloud service providers like Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud are seeing revenue surge due to exploding AI service demand. They're not just selling computing power, but building the entire AI ecosystem's gateway. Top AI talent has become the new nobility of this era. Their salaries easily exceed $500,000, with equity value often reaching millions or even tens of millions. These people aren't just technically excellent. More importantly, they're standing at the cutting edge of the times. An outstanding machine learning engineer's market value can even exceed many companies' CEOs because they possess the key skills for reaching AGI. The biggest winners are actually capitalists and shareholders, a seemingly contradictory phenomenon. Tech stocks often rise rather than fall after announcing major layoffs. Investors view cost control as positive news, believing it means higher profit margins and more resources devoted to AI R&D. Shareholders enjoy the valuation bubble brought by AI concepts, while laid-off employees bear the costs. Relatively speaking, losers face much tougher circumstances. Ordinary tech workers face the double pressure of rising unemployment and stagnant wage growth. Even those keeping their jobs find their bargaining power declining because employers know there are plenty of job seekers competing for the same positions. Mid-level skilled workers are the hardest-hit group. Their jobs are exactly in AI's sweet spot, neither requiring top-level creativity and strategic thinking, nor needing complex physical operations like manual labor. The entire job market stability is also under assault. Previously, people could expect relatively stable career development paths, but now uncertainty has become the new normal. Today's hot skills might be obsolete in 2 years. Today's safe jobs might be replaced by AI tomorrow. This uncertainty not only affects individual career planning, but is reshaping society's entire risk distribution mechanism. What's really happening is this. Capital is shifting from human resources to computational power, from employee salaries to GPU clusters, from stable employment to speculative AGI bets. This is wealth redistribution, not just natural technological evolution. Understanding this matters because it changes how we should respond. We don't need to panic about AI's arrival, but we absolutely need to prepare for a more unequal and unstable economic landscape. In this new world, what matters most isn't predicting when AI will replace your job. It's understanding how capital and power are being reconfigured, and where you fit in this new structure. Only then can you make smart career and life decisions.